Yard for a benchmark 62 over 1,000 metres, and we start with Bifrost here for the Emily and David Brown stable. On pace and only caught late at Donald last time.
It was an improved run and a bounce back to some form because it was pretty plain first up at Warrnambool on the heavy, then at Donald just got there, peaked a touch. I think third up now in a grade where at its best he's better than, just needs to hold that form, I guess. Gets a nice gate with Will Gordon in the saddle.
The twos are scratching. The three here is Felita. You spoke about this mare as well at the top of our broadcast. Just for those who may have missed that, tell us what you like about this mare.
Yeah, I've got her on top. I've got her on top at the price, considering she was $21 yesterday, which was a really nice backable price. She comes here off 3 jump outs for this first up effort. Latest jump out was through a hot little trial. De Bergerac in front of her. Miraval Rose, when she finished fourth, she finished in front of Tennessee Bound. She did it easy enough. She's down in class on last preparation, where she was probably a touch, not underwhelming. She was just probably a little bit outclassed, I suggest. Coming back to this grade is the right grade for her. She draws perfectly with Tio Nugent in the saddle. She'll be very handy and she'll get an opportunity tucked in behind the speed, I think.
What about Astari, the 4, resuming for his third racing preparation, off 2 Cranbourne jump outs? What have you made of that recent work?
I've thought they were quite nice, to be honest. You had those 2 jump outs, as you say. The latest I thought was an improved second. It was a nice effort. It was over the 800 metres at Cranbourne. He's lightly raced, only had the 7 starts. He's won or been placed in on 4 occasions. Very consistent. He's still got upside to come, this 3-year-old gelding by Star Spangled Banner. I think he can run really well first up here.
Mafee for the Goodwin stable, runner-up here last Monday after leading, after 2 second placings. You're actually saying today can't be his day, but surely there's a...
Whoa.
Well, you haven't put it on top.
No, but I'm not saying it can't be.
OK. Well, you're hoping it's not because it's not you one on top.
It's price sensitive.
Price sensitive.
I think Mafee is the deserved favourite here. It comes here for some consistent efforts and off the 2 best rating efforts in its last 2 starts. I was just happier to take the $21 about Felita. But this is the horse they have to beat. Really high rating effort last time out. My small knock on Mafee is that it can find a horse better. It's only won the 2 from 17, but he's racing very well and brings the best form.
Manhattan Thunder, long time between wins for this gelding, but put in a nice effort last time out on the Heath track at Caulfield.
Yeah, it did. That was a benchmark 70 behind along the river, and it looked good closing there. It finished second. It was sort of the probably second best run of the race, I think, in what was a really good race. Had 2 goes on the synth for a good 4th and 1 plain effort. This horse can charge late. It's very good when it's at its best, but again, another one. It's only won the 3 from 31, which belies its... well, I think it's better than that, to be fair, but just gets back and needs a lot.
What about Stormborg? Can he bounce back on the 7th?
Ooh, another one with a poor strike rate for a horse with a little bit of ability. It's only won the 2 from 22. It won 3 back at Sale. On the synth, this is a test for it, and you forgive a heavy run last time out. Just needs too much to go right for me. It's a horse that needs things to be perfect. It does draw well with Luke Cartwright in the saddle, but just needs a lot of horses around it to probably regress a touch, I think.
The 8 is Ox Train here for the Croston and Gilmore stable. Note, Billy Egan replaces Jackson Radley in the saddle. Now, this horse is best, had him racing well at the Valley. I really want this horse to find that again.
Yeah, well, it's got that good record there, doesn't it? And it is consistent, to be fair. It maps well from a nice draw with Jackson Radley. With Billy Egan
now in the saddle, yeah.
And as he goes for a race-to-race double, it's going to bounce and sit somewhere handy to the speed. My concern here is the class of late. It's just been racing below what's required here, and it would need to improve too much. 9's
also a scratching. The opportunist is the 10, resuming gelded, yet to fire first up, but did win his most recent jump out on this surface here.
He did. He's yet to fire first up, but he's yet to go around 2 stone lighter first up. And the 2 jump outs that he's had, that latest one was a really nice win on this track and surface. It was a slick effort. I think you can expect that we're going to see a slightly different opportunist this time in. Does draw off the track, so needs to get across and find some sort of a position. But if it brings the form that it looks like it had at the jump outs, it can be winning this, no question.
Showcap, the 3-year-old chestnut filly from the Stokes stable, has been racing over in South Australia. What did you make of that form?
I think it's racing below where we thought this horse might fit into the world after it won the maiden second start and first up for the second prep. It was tested in Stakes Company as a 2-year-old twice either side of that maiden win. Just has been going around at its last couple, I thought. It's been only OK. It gets back to firmer footing, though, today and does get a good draw. So maybe today's the day that we can see this horse start to show a little bit more.
12 Scratch, the 13 Wind Dreamer. Outsider in this field, resuming.
Yes, off 1 very plain jump out as well. Needs this and much easier. Has been going around in some 58s last preparation on the Ballarat synthetic and hasn't been getting near them.
Really looking forward to seeing Ruby Avenue here. Spoke with Andrea Leake yesterday trackside at Cranbourne, and she said she was really hoping that this horse, who was the second emergency, would get a run. Luca, who rides this gelding in the morning, said worked really well on the synthetic, could be his surface.
Ooh, that's interesting because it is a horse who has got ability at its best. I just find it can be hard to catch here. First up, 16 weeks, no trial or jump out. You would say it's likely fit enough, knowing the way the Leaks get their horses fit. Just a few of these might have some class on him, but if they're saying that they think he's back and he's ready to fire on the synthetic, I think his best form does stack up to this level.
How are you lining them up?
Well, for me, for leader, I'm going to stick with it as an each way. It's my best roughie of the day.
Price.
Pardon?
Because of the price, as you were keen to remind me.
Of course. I'm not saying, you've just told me I said Mafee can't win. I've got it second. It's the horse they have to beat. Bifrost next and Astari.
As they make their way down to the start, let's catch up with Rhys Goodwin. And I'm longing to know, Rhys, we're yet to see you pop up on screen. Have you got the lucky hat on with the headphones too?
Unfortunately not, Liv. I've gone without the hat today. We brought a different car in, so hopefully it's not bad luck and hopefully it's good luck. But yeah, look, the horse presents in great order. He's on the 7-day turnaround. Hopefully he can get to the front. If not, hopefully sit outside for leader, control the race, and if he runs anything like he did last start, he's obviously going to be hard to beat.
Do you think that the synthetic at this time of year, obviously being the local deck as well, win, lose or draw today, you'll keep coming back here on these Mondays?
Yeah, absolutely. He's sort of been bought and pinpointed for this season. When Clay Beasy trained him, both his wins are on this surface, and we obviously had a few runs before the season started, and he was running well. But yeah, he does have a real liking for this track, and he does a lot of his work on it. He has had previous feet issues, and the more even surface you can keep him on, the sounder we can have him. So we'll certainly look to keep him on this surface, and if he continues to win and for some reason gets outgraded, we obviously won't be complaining with that either.
What about Give Some Lip in the Lucky Last?
Going really well, that horse. He's had 3 runs for us. Interestingly placed by me. He's gone from a 52 to a 56 to a 66 in town. Don't normally see that. So he gets in with a lightweight today, 55.5. He'd probably have to go back from the wide draw, but as we can see here at Pakenham, if you get the right race shape, they can really run on down the outside. It's a very even race. If he runs up to what he's been doing recently, he certainly can be competitive as well.
Rhys, Sammy, mates, where's the star, Magnato?
She will possibly run Friday back at Ballarat Synthetic. She's obviously become a little bit harder to place with her higher rating, but yeah, she obviously went under the other day. Maybe a little bit of trainer error. She was a decent gap between runs, which you knew, Sammy, and she did have that trial in between. We were a little bit soft on her in the trial, and then she was 3 weeks between that trial and Ballarat the other day. So I just felt she wasn't quite at 110%, but she bounced out of that run, and I think she can make amends for it on Friday.
We'll give her strength, mate. I'd love to see her back in the winner's stall.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much to Rhys Goodwin for his time, as always. Were you in the studio for Magnato last week, Sam?
Yep, I tipped her, even though I thought it was a touch of a risk. I just love her so much. When you're shooting for 9 in a row and you're getting $3.50, she went super. She went super. She just gave the winner a head start and couldn't get there. So she's racing really well. She's tough, and I've loved following that horse along the way since he's picked her up. So it's been a great story. I'd love to see her bounce back into the winner's circle on Friday. Who's going to be taking luck out of the equation here? Well, as Rhys said, he expected Mafee to. So that's the plan. Punch forward. Who's going to be joining Mafee? Well, he said he thinks he might be sitting outside of my horse for leader. I'm not 100% sure she'll lead. She may lead from the gate, but I think if something wants to cross her, I think she'd also happily first up, possibly take a sit behind that speed. But she's drawn a good gate. She can punch forward. She can roll along. She let her jump out well the other day. She wasn't punched out hard at the back end of it. I think she's fit enough off 3, coming through a good jump out. So, yeah, possibly her. What have you made of this program today? Beautiful racing. Yeah, it's been fantastic. I love this track for betting, even though today we haven't quite got the results, but I think it's a fair track where horses are getting their chances. And it's your first meeting back on the synthetic. I had Sultan here with me last week, so we'll just call this the warm-up run. Yes, I had the Ballarat synthetic the other day, and Sultan and I think we're swapping. OK, well, that means I get your company for many weeks to come, which is music to my ears, although I love working with Sultan and everyone else as well. Please don't take that the wrong way. They're loading now ahead of the penultimate event on our 7-race programme. We'll head up and rejoin Matt Hill.
Fantastic, Olivia. So a field of 11 here in this next payments benchmark 62. Decent lineup here in this benchmark affair as Manhattan Thunder is about to join the line. The Opportunist on resumption and Stormberg. So the 1,000-metre dash, Wind Dreamer was late getting down there, but has been positioned in the stalls. Just about ready. The Opportunist is into a wide alley, and Manhattan Thunder is going to be the last. Firms another 0.5 as it goes in. Set to scamper, race 6, 1,000 metres. Ready to run. Racing now, Ruby Avenue, one of the better ones away with Octrain, and there's Mafee sweeping across from an outside alley. Showcap isn't far away either, followed by Wind Dreamer, Bifrosters midfield for leader picking up some ground. The Opportunist well back deep, and then Manhattan Thunder, Astari and Stormberg is at the back, so it's Mafee. Just relax the tempo slightly, 600 metres to go, a length and a quarter, Showcap, Octrain. Ruby Avenue next on the inside, Wind Dreamer is fifth out, 4 deep, the Opportunist wider, then Bifrost for leader Manhattan Thunder. Stormberg and Astaria's last of the group as they run the turn. 350 metres to go. It's Mafee held together from Showcap, Ruby Avenue, and then Octrain, Bifrost, and down the outside Wind Dreamer, and further back the Opportunist. Mafee went for home. 200 metres to go. A length and 3/4 Showcap, Ruby Avenue, and then Stormberg getting out. Mafee in front. 50 metres to go. Has to dig in late and will get up. A deserved win from Stormberg, Ruby Avenue, Manhattan Thunder. Behind them, Showcap, and then Bifrost and Astari. A gap, Octrain for leader, the Opportunist, and Wind Dreamer. Mafee wins. Zach Spain for Reese Goodwin. Was a great run here last week in track record time behind Lake Forest. Just found one better. But today, Zach's ridden it beautifully, swept across, went to the front, and this horse was just able to come underneath Zach a little at the 500 metres. Just managed to fill up the lungs a little and had a lot in reserve up the straight. Stormberg was flashing home under Luke Cartwright for the Maloney stable, but Mafee has held on. Ruby Avenue will run the third, number 14, and a photo for fourth between Manhattan Thunder and also Showcap. But Mafee, a deserved win. Zach Spain for Reese Goodwin, taking out race number 6 on the program. Number 5, Mafee, the winner, at 220 and 110 from Stormberg at 360, and Ruby Avenue at $5.30. Luke Nolan aboard that one for Andrea Leake. Across the line for fourth, it was either Manhattan Thunder or Showcap, who was in between the second and third horses. So the judge having a look at that. Mafee, after a couple of runners-up checks in a row, successful at start number 18 today, win number 3, placed on 5 other occasions. 5, 7, 14 and a decision after race number 6. So that is very tight there between Showcap and Manhattan Thunder. From the lateral camera from the stand, Showcap's nose is hidden, so the judge will have to go mirror image there. So that might take a little bit of time. So Olivia, 5, 7, 14 after race 6.
Matt, and the punters rejoiced. Mafee finally, once again, with the win after those 2 runner-up placings, Sam.
Yeah, and they came for it late, didn't they? Ended up being 220 across the totes. So it was a really impressive win. It was dominant, brought the strongest form to the race. When it jumped and began and there was nothing challenging it, it was just game over, wasn't it? Reece, you would have been stoked with that. Just had your way in front, showed a bit of class and backed up that really good form from last week.
Yeah, it worked out really well, Sam. The draw didn't bother me at all when they come out the other day. I'd probably rather him drawn wide than inside, just so you can sort of glide across as you like. And he's always been a really reliable beginner, so I just banked on he wasn't slow away for some reason today. And once we crossed and found the fence, he's a horse that he comes straight back to you, and Zach would be able to back that up. So once he sort of got there, he stacked and racked him, slipped him again before the corner. Obviously, they were getting to him late. I think he's probably going to be better suited 11, 1200, which there are a few of them coming up here, just so he can sort of get to the front a bit sooner and a bit easier. And then he still, runs really well over 1200. So it was a little bit of a plan B to back him up from 7 days ago, but I just thought it was the right race and a good opportunity. He'd obviously done really well within the week.
What'd you pay for this one, mate?
I have to thank Vicky and Ali for sending this horse to me. He'd had a few issues and I had to sell 40% of him to my clients, so they hold most of him and they bred him, so obviously it's been a long journey with them, so they'd be wrapped, which is great, and also to the 40% that I was able to get into the horse, they've had obviously a great thrill. So well done to everyone involved, obviously my whole team. We like to have plenty of success here at Pakenham on the synthetic, and hopefully it can roll into the next one.
How's Rosa Arataroa pulled up from the weekend, and where do you take him next?
Pulled up really nicely, Liv. He will go for a break. He went terrific, I thought. He was sort of chasing that good tempo. First and second had the drop off him. He hit the front pretty soon, boxed on great. I think he gets through heavy ground, but I think he's much more effective on top of the ground. So we'll give him a break now and look to have him around spring. Obviously, it's a tough time of year, but I think he runs 1400 very well, and I think he'll show a good turn of foot. So looking forward to seeing him back next prep.
And Queen Bira, are we waiting for next start now? Another nice showing from her.
Yeah, I'm still picking myself up from the floor. Yesterday I thought it was home, and she was a good price and had a little bit of my own on, and I also own her myself, so it was a pretty bitter pill to swallow, but we won't complain about seconds. She's pulled up well and hopefully finds herself back there in a couple of weeks. Good luck there and good luck for the days ahead. Well done here. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Hopefully we're chatting with him after the last as well, because you like that horse in your selections. We did hear about that horse in the pre-race interview as well, but take us through this win while we wait for Zach.
There's your winner, and back tucked in there was the other horse that was expected to be up on speed, putting some pressure on. So once they'd gone this far, if you're on the favourite, you knew you were just rolling along at your own tempo. A few horses in behind were solid. Manhattan Thunder hitting the line nicely was particularly good. As was Ruby Avenue, but it was all honours the winner under a controlled Zach Spain ride. Zach, you would have been stoked, basically, after you went about 300 metres. You looked over your shoulder and they were saying it's all up to you.
Yeah, he's obviously got very good gate speed. Drew a little bit tricky, but as soon as I give him a squeeze, I had sort of one intention, and that was to just ride him like the best horse and ride him at just show his best attributes, which is he's fast and he can sustain a gallop.
You've been on board for the two recent runs for those runner-up placings. Zach, was today just circumstance and company that gave him that point of difference?
Yeah, I think so. His last two starts, obviously last week he got beat by a handy one, but he was still very brave, and Reese has done a terrific job to get him back here 7 days later and get him back to being at his best still, especially over 1,000 metres. Sometimes those horses need a couple of weeks break, so Reese has done a terrific job to get him here spot on once again.
You're back on board. Another one of his horses, Give Some Lip, in the last. You were a second placing at Mornington 2 starts ago. Do you think you can get a race-to-race double?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's back to his right grade. He's drawn tricky, but he'll be back. He'll need some luck just being out the back there, but I expect him to run really well.
Well done here. We'll let you go and get in, get warm and get ready for the last.
Thanks, Liv.
Zach Spain there, and going from strength to strength with his darts, which I believe we're going to learn a little bit more about. I was lucky enough to shadow him at one of his exhibition competitions last year. He's going from strength to strength. Make sure you follow him across the social media pages and subscribe to his YouTube, The Darting Jockey. He does lives as well. In the meantime, we'll take